Hi, Jamie. Let's take a look at your essay entitled The Forgotten Side of a Classroom. Nice title. I like it. It's nice and clear. It gives me a sense of what your purpose in this paper is going to be. Let's take a look at your works cited page for just a second. So it looks like everything is in alphabetical order. That's great. You have hanging indents in all of them. That's great. This is a perfect works cited page. Well done. Let's go back up to the top and take a look at your introduction. So your introduction is well done. I like how you early in the introduction, you reveal your identity and talk about why you chose the article, why you can relate to it. In other words, why it matters to you. You do a nice job here at the beginning of talking about what your personal stake in choosing this article is. Nicely done. Then down here at the bottom, oh, and very briefly, you don't need to provide this information that I've highlighted right here. In MLA, you just need the page number in parentheses. The rest of this can be deleted. But down here you say, I'm currently a freshman at RIT, so I didn't pick this article because it's relatable. I picked it because I believe it can be a guide for college students in their first year. I like this because it gives a clear idea of what your overall purpose in the paper is, and it gives me a really clear idea of who it is your audience is in this paper. This is a good introduction. Well done. Let's move on. So I really like your first body paragraph. You lay out, you spend some time coming to terms with Kidwell and talking about what it is he's trying to get his audience of teachers to realize about the way that they are teaching their students and how it is inhibiting their ability to learn. But then you turn here and say, I believe it can also be for incoming students. And you say, suppose we have incoming college students read this article, and you talk about why that would be important for them to do that. And then you quote your classmate. This is a really well chosen quote to focus on. And then you end the paragraph by talking about the audience that you are trying to reach with this argument. This is a nicely done paragraph that balances multiple voices: Kidwell's voice, your classmate's voice, and your voice. Nicely done. Let's move on. So in this next paragraph, you do an awful lot of coming to terms. You spent in the previous paragraph, you spent a little bit of time coming to terms with Kidwell and then using him as the basis for your response. In this paragraph, though, the only thing you do is come to terms with Kidwell. He's the only voice in this paragraph. So I guess what I'm trying to say is right here at the end of this paragraph, I feel like you need another paragraph in which you then respond to what you've come to terms with. Because in the next paragraph, you move on to different ideas without actually using what you came to terms with up here. Where is your voice in this conversation? If this is what you came to terms with, what can you then do with it in a paragraph right here before you move on to these new ideas? So here's another really strong body paragraph. You bring up his ideas of dualists and multiplists. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts. You do a nice job of talking about the transformation, and then you define how Kidwell talks about dualism and what that term means, and then you define multiplism. This is really nice. You're doing a great job of coming to terms. And then you point out to your audience of fellow students that these are important things that they need to realize. In fact, you even say this is an important thing to know as a student because every student enters college expecting to learn new things from their professors, which is a grave mistake. That's an important thing to say to your audience. Then you go into quoting another one of your classmates and you respond to them. This is a nicely balanced paragraph. Let's move on to your conclusion. Strong conclusion targeted specifically to the audience you're trying to reach. In fact, I like how you are leveraging this limit that you see in Kidwell. You're stepping into that limit of what he did not do, and you yourself are doing it. You say, I felt like Kidwell was ignoring us and focusing on teachers. How can they become co-learners, in other words, students, if we don't know how to become co-learners with them? If Kidwell wanted them to become co-learners, then students need some advice on how to be that. And that, in fact, is what you have provided them in this paper. This is really strong. I guess my only issue is that one paragraph, that long paragraph, where all you do is come to terms with Kidwell and don't actually respond to him. But overall, this is a really strong paper. I'm really happy with it. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and be sure to check your grade in my courses. Well done.